Players in a public corruption scandal in Omaha will no longer continue his fight in court. The chief fundraiser for the Latino Peace Officers Association, Jack Olson, pleaded guilty this afternoon in Lincoln to a charge of conspiracy to commit wire fraud and tax evasion. As part of the plea deal, the government and defense agreed he wouldn't be sentenced to more than 42 months in prison. He also has to pay more than $150,000 in restitution. His sentencing is set for November.